We're doing something very radical in American politics. We're telling the truth. We have a corrupt campaign finance system. When you have a handful of billionaires spending more money in an election than either the Democratic or Republican parties, that is not democracy. In America, we have one of the lowest voter turnout rates of almost any major country on earth. We work the longest hours of any people in the industrialized world. But despite all of that labor, today 58% of all new income goes to the top 1%. That's a rigged economy. We have got to deal with a broken criminal justice system. We have more people in jail than any other country, spending $80 billion a year to lock up fellow Americans. One of the reasons that we have so many people in jail is that youth unemployment in this country is sky high. We're going to invest in education and jobs for our young people, not jails and incarceration. The vast majority of police officers are hardworking, honest, and are doing a very difficult job. But you are tired, and I am tired of seeing videos of unarmed people being shot. If a police officer, like any other public official, breaks the law, that officer is held accountable. We need to fundamentally rethink the so-called war on drugs. We have got to make certain that people who are abusing drugs get the help they need, not just throw them in jail. We have got to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, $15 an hour. If somebody works 40 hours a week, that person should not be living in poverty. And I know that every man here will stand with the women in the fight for pay equity. We are not going to cut Social Security benefits. We're going to raise them. Our child care system is dysfunctional. Millions of our people are leaving college $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in debt. We should be rewarding people for getting an education, not punishing them. We're talking about making public colleges and universities tuition free. Well, Bernie, you're a nice guy. You're kind of like Santa Claus. You're giving out free stuff. We should impose a tax on Wall Street speculation, which would cover the entire cost of making public colleges and universities tuition-free and lowering student debt. When Wall Street was in need, they got help from the American people. Now it is their time to help the American people. I want comprehensive immigration reform and a path toward citizenship. If we invest $1 trillion in rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure, we can create 13 million good-paying jobs. Well, Bernie, where are you going to get the money for that one? Right now, you have major multinational corporations not paying a nickel in federal taxes. We're going to end that loophole. It's $100 billion a year. Invest that in rebuilding our infrastructure, create millions of decent-paying jobs. The way we have treated Native Americans from the first day that settlers came to this continent is an absolute disgrace. We're going to do everything we can to end fracking. The debate is over. Climate change is real. We have got to have the guts to take on the greed of the fossil fuel industry. Their short-term profits are not more important than the future of this planet. Despite the gains of the Affordable Care Act, many of you and millions of other Americans do have insurance, but you are underinsured with high deductibles and high copayments. And that means if you don't have money in your pocket, you are not going to go to the doctor. If you don't go to the doctor, you're going to get sicker. That is pretty crazy stuff. And on top of all of that, we have the pharmaceutical industry ripping us off. This country must move toward a Medicare for all healthcare program. Donald Trump will not be elected president of the United States. according to virtually every national poll, including a recent NBC Wall Street Journal poll, we were 18 points ahead of him. And in fact, in almost every poll, we run much stronger against him than does Secretary Clinton. And perhaps most importantly, what the American people know is what every major religion has always taught us. And that is, whether the religion is Christianity or Judaism or Islam or Buddhism or whatever it may be, what those religions have taught us is that love trumps hatred.